A wealthy businessman once gave his little daughter a strange choice: to pick a new mother from 5 elegant women. But in the end, it wasn't one of them she wanted. It was the quiet woman they had all ignored, the black cleaning lady. Inside the grand halls of the Blackwood mansion, a silent battle was about to unfold, one that would expose greed, prejudice, and the true meaning of love. David Blackwood, a millionaire widower, was desperate. His little daughter Emma had lost her mother in a tragic accident the year before. The girl had stopped smiling, started waking up at night in tears, and nothing seemed to comfort her. On his therapist's advice, David decided to try something unusual. Let Emma live with different women for a while and choose the one she liked most as her new mother. For the wealthy businessman, it sounded like a fair plan. After all, choosing the right partner wasn't just about him. It was about giving Emma a mother figure she could love and trust. So David invited 5 women from high society: a lawyer, a doctor, a businesswoman, an architect, and a socialite. All were wealthy, polished, and seemed perfect on paper. They arrived at the mansion confident, each believing she was destined to become Mrs. Blackwood. But there was one thing none of them had counted on. Kesha Williams, a 28-year-old woman, had been working at the mansion for only 3 months. She wasn't rich, she wasn't glamorous, and she wasn't even considered a candidate in this marriage competition. She was just the maid, or so they thought. But Emma, however, saw something different. She wasn't drawn to the cold elegance of the 5 candidates. Instead, she found warmth in Kesha's simple kindness. The way Kesha played checkers with her, baked butterfly-shaped cookies, and listened when she spoke. All of it filled a hole in her little heart that no diamond necklace or fancy dress could replace. And this bond terrified the women. They had come to compete against each other, but soon all 5 of them united against one common enemy: the cleaning lady. The first signs of cruelty were small: whispered comments, fake smiles, little gestures of superiority. "She shouldn't even be in the same room as us," Victoria Ashworth muttered, her voice dripping with contempt, as Kesha bent down to clean the broken shards of a crystal glass. Priscilla Montgomery, the lawyer, smirked during dinner, saying, "That child needs to learn early who belongs in her social class." They thought Kesha didn't hear them, but she did. She always did, and Emma noticed too. "Daddy, why are they being mean to Kesha?" she asked one morning, her innocent voice echoing in David's mind. Unbeknownst to the women, David had hidden microphones and cameras throughout the mansion after noticing Emma's strange mood swings. What he saw shocked him: 5 educated women trying to humiliate a maid, while the maid gave his daughter nothing but patience and love. But Kesha wasn't as weak as they imagined. Behind her quiet smile was a woman preparing for the right moment to fight back. The 5 candidates couldn't stand it any longer. Emma's affection for Kesha was becoming too obvious. They needed to get rid of her. Victoria gathered the group in the private library. "We have to be strategic," she said. "David can fire any employee for cultural incompatibility. We'll build a case against her." Priscilla prepared fake legal reports. Christina, the doctor, added false concerns about Emma's psychology. Rebecca and Amanda contributed lies to make Kesha look manipulative. Together, they built a dossier of accusations, hoping to destroy her reputation. But what they didn't know was that Kesha had grown up around wealthy families her whole life. Her own mother had been a maid for 30 years. Kesha had seen these strategies before. She knew exactly how the rich twisted words to justify cruelty. Instead of panicking, she remained calm. Every insult, every trick, every humiliation only sharpened her resolve. She wasn't just protecting her job, she was protecting Emma. One afternoon, Emma's most precious treasure, a teddy bear gifted by her late mother, went missing. The women staged a cruel scene, finding it hidden inside Kesha's closet. "Look what we discovered," Victoria announced dramatically. The child's eyes filled with tears. "Kesha, why did you take my teddy bear?" David, watching through the cameras, felt his heart sink. He knew this was a setup, but Kesha didn't defend herself with anger. Instead, she knelt down, hugged Emma, and whispered gently, "My little one, you know in your heart that I would never take anything of yours, and people who truly love you would never try to confuse that heart." Her words cut deeper than any evidence could. Emma clung to her tighter, and the women's plan collapsed in silence. Meanwhile, David was conducting his own investigation. With the help of a private detective, he uncovered disturbing truths about each candidate. Victoria had diverted funds from charities. Priscilla faced lawsuits for harassment. Christina had lost medical licenses in 2 states. Rebecca was accused of tax evasion. Amanda was sued for creating a toxic work environment. On the other side, Kesha made quiet calls of her own. She reached out to her sister, a CNN journalist, and her old professor, a child development expert. If the women tried to frame her, she would expose them with undeniable evidence. This wasn't just survival anymore. This was justice. The women thought they were destroying Kesha, but in truth, they were digging their own graves. At dinner one evening, Emma asked the question that ended everything. "Daddy, why don't these ladies like Kesha?" The room froze. Victoria tried to smile. "We like all the staff, sweetheart." But Emma shook her head. "That's not true. I heard you say she didn't know her place." Silence. 5 powerful women, suddenly powerless in front of the brutal honesty of a child. David's mind was made up. On Friday morning, David called everyone into the mansion's grand hall. The women arrived dressed to impress, expecting to hear who had won. Instead, David stood before them with files, recordings, and witnesses, including Diane from CNN and Dr. Morrison, the child development expert. "Before I make any decisions," David said coldly, "you should see the truth." One by one, their scandals were displayed on the screen. Every cruel whisper about Kesha was replayed from the hidden microphones. Emma sat by Kesha's side, holding her hand tightly. The women's faces drained of color. Their lies, arrogance, and schemes were exposed before everyone. And then, David turned to Emma. "Sweetheart, do you know who you want as your new mother?" Emma smiled for the first time in weeks. She looked at Kesha and said softly, "I already chose her." In that moment, the 5 candidates realized the truth. Wealth, status, and appearance had failed them. The person they had despised, the one they thought too low to matter, was the one who had truly won. Because sometimes, the greatest strength isn't in power or money. It's in love, kindness, and the courage to stay calm when the world tries to break you. Kesha, the maid they tried to erase, had become the one person David and Emma could never live without. And so, in a mansion filled with lies, arrogance, and broken masks, the quietest woman in the room proved that the heart of a child sees clearer than all the wealth in the world.